Sure.
Great. So how have you been doing, David? It's a pleasure to meet you here in Skype.
It's a pleasure to meet you too, sir.
How you been doing, man?
I'm doing
Uh,
pretty good.
Tell me a bit about yourself and your newest finding, the Brown Dwarf Star. That's big.
Well, probably about 6 months to maybe 8 months ago, I started seeing this bright object to the west. It was, due west, exactly from Arizona, right here where I'm at. And and as the months went by, I started seeing this thing, and it was climbing on a 45-degree angle above our ecliptic. So I've been watching it with my tiny little telescope here, and finally I got a lens that would magnify to the proper magnification, and then I said, "Whoa!" when I saw it, and I realized that it was in fact a star, and it was in fact inside our solar system.
Let me ask you something. So I'm gonna be probably showing our viewers and subscribers, the videos and footage and pictures you sent to me, okay, of this brown dwarf star. So we were having a conversation on our email that there is a red dwarf star already here, right, David? Is this a fact?
There is supposed to be two flyby events happening,
Okay,
so I don't know exactly if it's here as close as the brown dwarf, because according to Hopi prophecy, one is supposed to follow the other.
right.
Like the blue will follow the red, or vice versa.
Okay, so the blue is going to be the brown dwarf star.
Dwarf. Yes.
Okay, so
And
yeah, because the footage that we have from you yourself, you sent us. Thank you very much, for sending this and actually opening this opportunity to us to actually have a look at what seems to really be a brown dwarf star out there. Due west. It's not only you, David. Not only you're not the only person that's seeing this in the sky and asking yourself what it is. But I guess you went ahead of others, and you got a telescope and you started taping it, trying to figure it out what it is. So congratulations on that.
thank you.
Let me ask you something. Did you read anything about the Brown Door store? What do you believe about this? What do you really think it is? Because I know that people are gonna call us crazy, right? So
That's,
yeah, so how could we help others that are also going to be called crazy? Explain people what this really is.
well, first off, I would say for everyone to go outside about 6 to 6:30 and just look south southwest at a 45-degree angle up from the sunset, and it don't even have to be dark yet for you to see this thing, but and just observe it for yourself, because all facts derive in the scientific world from observation. So I say first go observe it for yourself, and then after you get through observing it for yourself, then come to your own conclusion.
Right.
But the fact is you can clearly see it. And if you're out, like I'm looking directly at it right now as we speak. In fact,
Okay.
it's high in the sky right now. And what time is it? 6:25. Yeah,
Okay, so you are in the northern hemisphere, right?
yeah. That's Mountain Standard Time.
Okay. Let me ask you something, David. So, for all viewers out there in the northern hemisphere, they should look due west, 45 degrees up on our ecliptic, right?
Yes,
A bright star. Is that so?
it's the brightest thing in the sky. I mean,
Okay.
you can't see it even if you were blind, probably.
Okay, okay. Let me ask you something. What do you think that John Kerry, if I'm not mistaken, that's who went to Antarctica right now. What do you think he really went to do there, down there?
When do I think it's going to be flying by?
No, I mean like, if I'm not mistaken, Senator Kerry, he went to Antarctica, right, for mysterious, bogus reasons. They say it's because of weather, climate change. I believe he went to observe this object that you caught on camera. You know.
Right. Well, well, I think that there's probably, and I don't want to sound like a kook or nothing, but I'm saying I think they found something of very uh, monumental importance as far as alien technology, and I believe that that that's probably the only reason why all the countries in the world would sign a treaty that nobody would go down there and start destroying the place and mining the place out. You know what I mean?
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. my question to you right now would be like, so let's say that we have aliens out there and they exist somehow. Could this brown dwarf star and red dwarf star be connected to aliens anyhow?
Could they say again, please?
Do you think that these incoming dwarf stars could they be of an alien origin? Like, could an alien race be coming with these with this
Um,
system?
the red dwarf. It's possible because the red dwarf actually has three planets that orbit around it. The main star, the red dwarf, is called Hercules. Harrington, the ex head of the Naval Observatory, he's the one that gave it its name, or got it from Zachariah Sitchin. I can't recall, but anyway, its name is Hercules, and it's separate from this brown dwarf, completely separate. So
Wow.
the brown dwarf is bad enough as it is, but it's going to bring all kinds of meteors. That's why you keep hearing about meteors streaking across big fireballs during the day. You're seeing big fireballs, like when that Japanese earthquake happened the other day at 6.9. And at the same time, there was a massive fireball cutting across the sky. They got film of.
That makes a lot of
Anyway,
sense.
yeah. And so
So you
the
think,
close,
well, do you think the red, for example, let's say that the red dwarf star is what we're seeing at by the side of the sun, right? Many people are catching this weird anomaly.
that
Uh,
Nibiru is, yes,
I'm sorry, what?
the one that's next to the sun, the
Yes.
red. That is actually the solar system. The red dwarf is its own solar system, and Nibiru happens to orbit around Phobos, the red dwarf.
Okay. The object that people are seeing from North Carolina and other places like Australia, for example, next to the sun, is Nibiru. That's what you're saying.
Well, it's Nibiru, and it is also the planets that are revolving around that, and the two moons that they named Harrington and Farada.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So this
The thing,
brown dwarf star is going to come with other planets too, probably, or not.
well, what I am saying is that this system that's behind the sun, or coming closer to the sun, that has several different, like I said, planets orbiting it. So it's its own system, basically.
Okay. And does that pose any danger to our planet at all?
Yeah. The closer they get, the more earthquakes. If you noticed, there's been a very steep rise in volcanic activity. Almost daily, a volcanoes going off. There's been, you know, clusters of earthquakes happening everywhere, and especially in spots where there hasn't been for forever. And, you know, like the one that hit over there in Italy and threatened to knock down the Colosseum, probably I think a week or two ago. Anyways, there's been so many, in South America, Japan, Europe, which is unusual. Uh, Even Asia has been being hit. India, they've all been being trashed, but not just by like 4.0 earthquakes. We're talking magnitude 6.5 and higher. You know, so the closer this thing comes, the more it's going to try to peel our iron crust to a different direction. You know what I mean?
Okay. And the message that you wanted to pass out there to the subscribers and all there, the people out there, is that the brown dwarf star is going to cause even more damage. Is that so, David?
That's what I'm saying. Probably so because of the huge chunks of iron ore and stuff that is trailing with it. Because it has a 10 million mile trail of debris that it dragged through the cloud in the Kuiper belt. So
Oh my gosh.
it has stuff hooked to it, and in front of it.
Did you see our last video on the solid rock rain that happened in Turkey, back in Turkey, November 23rd
Right.
or 22nd? I don't know. That was really weird. But let me ask you something. Going back to the dwarf star, okay? How long how distant? How far is this thing from Earth right now?
Oh, let's see. I would say since it's still, um, if I'm looking west and the sun sets in the west, right? I would say that it's probably right now at least 2 to 3 AU away from the sun, and probably about 4 or 5 AU away from us. But it's going to start arcing over from the westerly, southwesterly. It's going to come more southeasterly as it arcs around, and it'll meet us somewhere. Either it'll come right behind us and go past us because it went perihelion and it's going faster on its way out, or it'll come to the east side of the planet. The side the sun comes up,
Right.
and whichever way it comes, it doesn't matter because that's a 10 million mile tail. So we're going to go through the debris trail probably several times.
And let me
Our
ask you,
orbit
so
around.
how long in years? How long are we talking about? Like, how long do we have till this huge object hits our orbit?
Okay, this is speculation. I can't give you a accurate date, and I'm not really going to try. But I'm going to say this: I would say at least by maybe the middle to the end of next year, it'll be because it took 6 to 8 months to get as far up as it is right now. So I'm saying on its arc around, and it'll start going faster on its way out. So it could be sooner than that, but I'm saying maybe June to December of next year,
Wow,
maybe sooner.
that's very
But
interesting.
it goes out 3 times as fast as it came in.
Okay, so June to December 2017. Wow, that's interesting. I have reports from people telling me that 2018 is the year where everything will change, definitely, 100%.
I believe that yes,
Wow.
I believe that
Yeah, I have
everything will.
more than one person, one different person telling me that 2018, but this is like confidential sources, okay? Very interesting, David. Very accurate, thank you. Um, so, well, let me ask you. So you stared at this object from your house and you said, okay, this is not normal. This ain't normal, right?
Correct.
Was it blinking? Was it moving
Well, that's
like a UFO? What was it doing?
it didn't have any UFO characteristics, but what it what it did have is when you look at a star in the sky, they twinkle from red, blue, yellow, green. They twinkle, right?
Right.
Planets twinkle. They're solid colored, and usually we catch a what they say a crescent of the planets because we usually don't see the full face of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So uh, this thing was full faced, round in other words, and it was whenever I would take video of it, it would twinkle from red, blue to white to yellow, and it would do that. Well, when I got the proper magnification for my little telescope, that's when I sent you those even better close up pictures.
Those are amazing.
Yes, those that's the actual star, and you can tell it's actually doing its own rotation, like because you
Yes.
see the dark spots on it going around, and going
Yeah,
around to the
that's
side.
crazy. Exactly. You can see it going round. Is that normal, David?
It's normal for a brown dwarf simply because that ball of gas is trying to find a nuclear ignition to get it going like a real star,
Oh
and
my
if it
God.
doesn't get that, it'll turn into a red dwarf, which is a failed star.
Wow, you have a lot of knowledge in this. David, tell me, where did you get all this knowledge from,
Well, it's all been, I've self learned and everything. I do all my research myself. When somebody says something on the internet that's conspiracy and all this, that, I'll actually go out and do the footwork, even though they've already done it. Don't trust anybody else's observations or anything else or their info. Go ahead and go get your own. That's what I do. I go and get all the info, and I won't say nothing about it until I'm absolutely sure. And with this brown dwarf, I would say 89% sure as of right now. So I go out and I just I research. I go to libraries. Like there's a very good library right here in Glendale, right down the street from my place. It's huge. It has all kinds of stuff about astronomy and whatnot. And plus the internet is loaded, but you got to be careful of using other people's info because there's a lot of smokescreen stuff out there to keep us from actually looking up and saying, "Oh, that ain't supposed to be there."
Yeah, that's true. Let me ask you something. The equipment, do you know, so the subscribers, they can know the equipment that you use to catch this. Was it a normal telescope, for example, a normal camera?
What I use is my cell phone camera, and I have to steady it just right through the optics of this little tiny telescope. It's actually a children's telescope. That's why I know this thing is in our own solar system, is because I'm using a tiny telescope. So they must be getting great pictures over there at NASA and all them other people, Vatican. They're all getting great pictures of it. But I have to hold mine steady to the optics of the focal point of the optics on my telescope with my phone camera, and once I get it steadied in there, then I have to keep it steady while I snap the picture. But the thing moves rather fast. Like it'll be out of view of the telescope's range in less than 20 seconds probably. So that's moving pretty fast.
Wow, it's moving pretty fast. Do you think that the presidents, for example, Obama or other presidents before him, previous presidents, did they know about this?
I think that all the world leaders, since probably FDR, I would say ever since World War II, they've known about all this coming in. They've known I mean, they've known forever. So none of them, and they passed it on to each other to keep it secret. So, you know, uh, yeah, all the world's leaders have known. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people sending us images of this, weird object in the sky.
Right.
They're calling it a weird object in the sky. They don't know what it is, but they say it's definitely not a UFO or a normal star. It's bigger and brighter, and
Right.
it's getting bigger. That's what they're saying. It's getting bigger. I have tons of emails. I'm piling up and compiling all these pictures into one folder, so I can release a video on it. But it's so
Right.
much information, David. It seems that a lot of people are going to identify with this video we are taping right now. Okay, this is really important for people who have telescopes. For example, iPhones are attached to a telescope, or phones attached to a kid's telescope, right? That is an amazing idea. I'm gonna try it myself. Um, so, what is your message to people now that we are, spreading this information? What would you tell them to do? Because I have a message. I would tell people to, strengthen the community, love thy neighbor, and try to organize themselves to prepare for this, in a small community.
Well, this is what I would say to people. I would say to people just to relax. There's nothing we can do about a star coming through our solar system because there's nothing known to man or alien that could do anything about it. This is totally on a God's type deal.
Right.
So I'd say just get at peace with yourself so that you could be at peace with everybody else, and go about your normal everyday business, like as if it's not even there really, because there's nothing you can do about it anyway.
Yeah.
And no need to be stressed over it or riot over it or hurt anybody over it. It is what it is. It's actually exciting. It's pretty cool actually when you think about it. We're actually here during the time when mankind's going to hit a big rut, and it's going to be challenging. So everybody needs to be on their on their toes with this, as far as that's concerned. So hopefully mankind makes it out, the other side. So
I think they will make it out. Subscribers, anything on this, email thatimpossiblechannel@gmail.com. Or David, if you want to leave your email, please do right now.
My name is David Keller, and if anybody wants to contact me through email, then you can contact me through koidog@gmail.com anytime. So, yeah.
Okay, that's great, man. Thank you very much, David.
Sure.
Great. So how have you been doing? David, it's a pleasure to meet you here in Skype.
It's a pleasure to meet you too, sir.
How you been doing, man?
Been doing pretty good.
Tell me a bit about yourself and your newest finding, the Brown Dwarf Star. That's big.
Well, probably about 6 months to maybe 8 months ago, I started seeing this bright object to the west. It was, due west, exactly from Arizona, right here where I'm at. And as the months went by, I started seeing this thing, and it was climbing on a 45-degree angle above our ecliptic. So I've been watching it with my tiny little telescope here, and finally I got a lens that would magnify to the proper magnification, and then I said, "Whoa!" when I saw it, and I realized that it was in fact a star, and it was in fact inside our solar system.
Let me ask you something. So I'm gonna be probably showing our viewers and subscribers, the videos and footage and pictures you sent to me, okay, of this brown dwarf star. So we were having a conversation on our email that there is a red dwarf star already here, right, David? Is this a fact?
There is supposed to be two flyby events happening,
Okay,
so I don't know exactly if it's here as close as the brown dwarf, because according to Hopi prophecy, one is supposed to follow the other, like
right.
the blue will follow the red, or vice versa.
Okay, so the blue is going to be the brown dwarf star.
Dwarf. Yes.
Okay, so
And
yeah, because the footage that we have from you yourself, you sent us. Thank you very much, for sending this and actually opening this opportunity to us to actually have a look at what seems to really be a brown dwarf star out there. Due west. It's not only you, David. Not only you're not the only person that's seeing this in the sky and asking yourself what it is. But I guess you went ahead of others, and you got a telescope and you started taping it, trying to figure it out what it is. So congratulations on that.
thank you.
Let me ask you something. Did you read anything about the Brown Door store? What do you believe about this? What do you really think it is? Because I know that people are gonna call us crazy, right? So
That's,
how, yeah. So how could we help others that are also going to be called crazy? Explain people what this really is.
well, first off, I would